This week on Irish Bandit Revolution, we look back at one of my all-time favorite FX series, great series, and probably one of their best in Rescue Me, starring Denis Leary. We're going to rank all 7 seasons. Irish Bandit Revolution begins now. Welcome back to another edition of Irish Bandit Revolution. I hope everyone is having a great week. I, as always, am your host, the one, the only, the second Irish Bandit. And speaking of Irish, we're talking about one of my Irish heroes today, one of the funniest men alive, and a hell of an actor as well. And we're talking about the great Denis Leary helmed series, Rescue Me. It is one of my favorite TV series, probably one of my favorite FX series as well. And oh god, FX is known for such great original series like The Shield, Sons of Anarchy, Justified. Some excellent TV shows to come from FX, and I think Rescue Me is one of their best. It blended this really dark humor and drama and mixed it so well because you have someone as funny as Denis Leary in the lead, and he also co-created the series with Peter Tolan as well. So, and Denis Leary really up until that point did not have the best track record on TV. He had another series called The Job. I think he did that with Peter Tolan as well. And it only lasted one season on ABC. But with the subject matter of Rescue Me, he could put that on FX. It's a little more edgy than anything else he could do on network television. Put it on cable television, he can get away with a whole lot more. And that's what I loved about the series. He got away with a lot and just did it so well and was a fantastic series. And today we're going to rank all 7 seasons of Rescue Me. I own every season and I think it's fantastic, a fantastic series. And Denis Leary is just so great in the role of Tommy Gavin. So let's just get right down into it. Coming in at number 7. Now, remember that just because something is at number 7 doesn't mean I don't like it. I love every season. But unlike something like Breaking Bad, every season doesn't get better. Some seasons are better than the others. It just kind of fluctuates up and down. This is what my general feelings are. So, coming in at number 7, this is probably the shortest of this of the 7 seasons. This is the shortest season. It was also the last season, that being season 7. So while season 7 was short on episodes, it was not short on story. Everything just kind of wrapped up that happened 6 seasons previous. Like everything from episode 1 all the way to the 18th episode of season. Well, what they did with the 6th and 7th seasons, they combined them into one set. I don't really like that. I'd rather, season 6 and season 7 come out separately, but I guess money saving issue, kind of, I guess. I don't know. But it says 18th episode in disc 5 of the season 6 and final season set. So everything just kind of culminates with those last 2 episodes. Everything that the ride we've been on since the pilot. Tommy at this point has overcome his drinking. He's overcome his womanizing. Him and his wife Janet have reconciled to a point where she is pregnant with his next child. They have 2 girls. They had their son. We'll get into that later in another season. And then they had the new baby on the way, and he was there to walk his daughter down the aisle for her wedding. And it kind of happened all at the same time because they got married, and her wish was that Janet and Tommy get married again. So that happens, and then the final 2 episodes, man, are just some of the most emotional TV you will ever see, because Tommy and his crew at Ladder 62 go into the mother of all fires, and not everyone survives. Like, one of my favorite characters dies in like the final episode, which is kind of it really grips at your heart. That's just what that dark humor and the drama come in, and the way they set that up in the final episode. They made you think that character was still alive and everyone else died. And then Tommy wakes up from this dream. It's like, oh, you pulled a fake out and I don't believe you. But like I said, season 7 was really good, really short, which is why I put it at number 7. But while it was short, it was really good. It packed a lot of story and it packed a lot of punch for a fantastic finale. Coming in at number 6, yes. This one is critically panned by a lot of people who even love the show. They pan this season, and I can see why. It's not one of my favorites, but it's still a great season, you know, with the story, everything going on together. That being season number 4. So, just reading the synopsis on the back of the box, it states, as the season begins, Tommy is in the fight of his life, defending himself against arson and insurance fraud. Oh, yeah, because in the end of season 3, his house that he has with Sheila burns down, right? We'll get into that later, too. He struggles to raise his new baby while facing paternity questions and fighting to keep the family together. Franco seems ready to settle into a steady relationship, but is shaken when he loses custody of his daughter. That's going to come back. Alcoholism has taken a toll on Sean and Maggie's marriage. Oh, Tatum O'Neal as Maggie, Tommy's sister. She did a fantastic job. While Lou's newfound love threatens to put him in the hospital. And Chief Riley fights back from a stroke, only to find himself facing a decision that could change the fate of Truck Company 62 forever. Oh, yes. That is one of the most heartbreaking moments of season 4. That's a reason. Wow, I don't want to say I didn't like season 4 because I did. You know, I wouldn't own the entire series if I didn't like any of the seasons. But that was just tough to watch with Chief Riley. It's been a while since I watched Rescue Me, but I read some of this and it all starts flooding back. It's like, oh yeah, this happens. Because you had Chief Riley have the stroke after having a relationship with a neighbor lady who just runs off when he's having a stroke and is scared because of it. But yeah, season 4, not great, but it is a very enjoyable season, and with all these things that are happening, like Tommy's investigation into arson and Sean and Maggie's marriage. Again, Tatum O'Neal, I can't rave enough as Maggie Gavin, Tommy's sister. She was just fantastic whenever she was on screen. That's one thing I gotta say about this show. It had wonderful casting. Aside from Dennis Leary's Tommy Gavin, you had what was her name? She played Janet on the show. Maybe it's on here. Nope. Andrea Roth, I think her name was. Oh, gorgeous woman, gorgeous woman. Callie Thorne plays Sheila, Tommy's cousin's widow, who he hooks up with. And even the guys they play have other firefighters. You have the great comedian Adam. I can't remember his name. Mole on his cheek. He plays the new chief after everything that happens to Chief Riley, but I can't remember his name. I keep confusing him with Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic, but that's definitely not it. Adam, it'll come to me eventually. But yeah, the casting in this show was so fantastic. So I had to sneak that one in there. But season 4, yeah, not great, which is why I put it at number 6, but definitely a good season to watch. Coming in at number 5, this kind of went on to season 7, the final season, that being season 6. So I looked it up, and it's Adam Ferrara, great comedian, and he was wonderful in this series. Again, reading from the back of the 6th and final season box. As troubled NYPD firefighter Tommy Gavin confronts his need for rescue and redemption, the crew of 62 Truck wages their own climactic struggle to survive and persevere, both on the front lines and in their personal lives. Embraced by critics and viewers alike for searing, true-to-life performances and unflinching storytelling, blah, 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 blah. So, yes, season 6 was so amazing. Hey, maybe that's a fire... maybe that's a fire truck right there. Let's see some of the things that happened. Tommy was shot by his uncle Teddy after the death of his father. When he returns to work and discovers how many of his familial duties his friends assumed with Janet and his kids, Tommy commits to staying sober. So that's when Tommy wants to be sober. His daughter Colleen files assault charges against him. Tommy heads back to work to discover 62 truck has been shut down. And there was also in this season something that happened with his nephew, Damien, where he is a probie firefighter and he gets in a horrible blaze and is paralyzed. Like, complete. I don't want to say brain dead, but he's paralyzed from the waist down and he just can't think. And it's just emotional what happens to Damien. So season 6 was just a roller coaster ride of holy crap and just wonderful all around. What are we at now? 7, 6, 5. Okay, coming in at number 4. This is a season that started in such a great way to kick things off, meeting all the characters from Tommy on his family, the firefighters, just everybody. Coming in at number 4, season 1. Tommy Gavin, played by Denis Leary, is a lifesaver. Whether he's pulling survivors from fiery high-rise infernos or the twisted steel of a subway collision, Gavin takes great pride in leading the heroic but often overwhelmed firefighters of New York's truck company 62. Gavin is also a man drifting between sorrow and anger over a recent separation from his wife, played by Andrea Roth. I guess I should have looked at season 1 box. And 3 kids. And recurring memories of comrades and other New Yorkers who fell victim to the tragedy of 9/11. So that's where everything all picks up for the show, is that it's Tommy dealing with his grief over what happened in the events of 9/11. He lost a lot of friends, a lot of colleagues. He even lost his cousin in the tragedy of 9/11. And we get to meet Tommy. We get to meet the spirit who talks to Tommy of his cousin Jimmy. And we also meet his his widow, Sheila, who he begins an affair with. But this season was just so great for introducing all the characters in this dysfunctionally great world, because it shows you that no one is perfect. Everyone has their flaws, but people can be redeemed. And I think that's ultimately what you get from the end of the series when the final episode rolls around, is that people can be redeemed, people can be saved. And that was the case with Tommy Gavin. He was an alcoholic womanizer and on the verge of losing his family, and he gets it all back. He quits drinking. He's back with his family. He now has a son-in-law. He has another child on the way. It's just, you can be redeemed. And I think that was the great message of this series. And I think it was told so well, but to get there, we had to go through the crap of Tommy's hurricane storm of a life. And it was just such a great way to kick off the entire series. Coming in at number 3, this is a great series, and hey, 3, and it actually happens to be the 3rd season. Tommy is trying to hold his life and team together while dealing with the devastating loss of his son. Oh, yeah, season 2, the end of season 2. We're going to get into that in a second here. Franco studies for the lieutenant's exam, while Proby contemplates the end of his probationary period, and now both ponder leaving the house. Lou and Jerry each grapple with, or try to hide from, the financial crisis they're facing. And Sean has a good reason for trying to keep the identity of his new woman in his life a secret. They're all falling apart in one way or another. Can Tommy make the only family he has left come back together? Season 3 was a great season because it was dealing with the aftermath of the death of Connor, Tommy and Janet's son. In the end of season 2, we're led to believe that everything's going to be fine between Tommy and Janet. Tommy takes his eyes off of Connor for 1 second, and that's really all you need when he's run down by a drunk driver. And that makes Tommy look at his drinking and see how it's getting out of control, and his family starts falling apart because of it. Season 3 was a really great bounce back from Season 2, and just the heartache at the end of that, which happened with Connor. And I wouldn't put Season 3 this high up on the rankings if I didn't love it as much as I do. But there are 2 other seasons ahead of that I love just as much, if not more. We talked a little bit about it, and coming in at number 2, again, coincidentally enough, Season 2. Rescue Me's second season finds Tommy Gavin away from his former crew, Truck Company 62, hey, that rhymed, and working in a Staten Island firehouse. He must come to terms with the havoc his drinking has caused, and realizes it's time to get his problems under control. His comrades back at 62 Truck aren't faring much better. Chief Riley struggles with the recent Alzheimer's diagnosis of his wife, and her deteriorating condition. Franco juggles the responsibility of raising his daughter while trying to return to work. Lieutenant Shea discovers just how lonely the single life can be, and Laura complicates house relations by getting involved with a colleague. Oh yeah, that was quite the story there with Laura and Franco. That wow, like, sometimes it's not fun to mix business with pleasure, especially when it's someone you work with. But season 2 was just a great season, and it really continued everything on with season 1. And I think this was the season that had one of my all-time favorite, here it is. Episode 4 of season 1. I'm not gonna mention the name of it because, family show. But I think also because with this, it got one of my favorite words to ever come into the English lexicon, that being twunt. Yeah, I'm not going to repeat that. But it's kind of in a gray area where I can get away with it because I'm not really saying one word, I'm not saying the other one. I'm mixing them together and making a different word that was made up by the writers of the show, and I absolutely love it. And I love season 2. I thought it was a great way to continue everything. And finally, coming in at number 1, this is by far my favorite season. If less is more, then they just went with the more is more concept and did two parts to this season. Because you have an A part and a B part. And this season was just fantastic from start to finish. And that is season 5. So looking at volume 1 of season 5, Tommy Gavin is grappling with the death of his father. Oh yeah, that was hard to watch. As the season opens, along with new man in Janet's life, guest star Michael J. Fox from Family Ties, Back to the Future. He was just fantastic in this role. I think he won an Emmy for it as well. The crew devised a business plan to open a bar, which turns into a lucrative venture, but also a temptation to Tommy, who continues to struggle with sobriety. Sean faces a health issue with no easy solution. Yeah, he's, testicular cancer is no joke. While Needles struggles to garner respect and maintain control of the firehouse. Meanwhile, Sheila attempts to purge herself of Tommy and allows Damien to pursue a future as a firefighter. Conspiracy theories about 9/11 ruffle more than a few feathers, brought on by the arrival of an intriguing foreigner. Under the shadow of a haunting past, the crew continues to look to the future and realize that salvation often lies where you least expect it. And then in part 2 of season 5, the season continues as Tommy's drinking begins to spiral out of control. Yeah, Tommy Tommy spirals out of control, like it says. I'm trying to think of the phrase here, but I can't come up with it. Sean recovers from his illness and heads back to work, where Tommy's temper problems still get him in trouble. Needles and Lou both have new women in their lives, providing endless entertainment around the firehouse. Oh yeah, Needles' Russian bride. Oh my god, that was one of my favorite scenes from that is Needles' wife is walking past and Tommy's on this creeper and just comes like, hello. It is, Dennis Leary's delivery is just fantastic. Meanwhile, Tommy's womanizing ways begin to catch up with him, yeah. When he finds himself caught between Janet, Sheila, and an intriguing newcomer. Tensions boil over in a shocking turn of events during a late night at the bar, leaving Tommy Gavin in serious jeopardy in the hottest season yet. Yes, now that I think about it, it wasn't because of the death of his father. It was because of something else that happened during this season. Tommy is like telling everyone, go live your lives, go have fun, don't worry about stuff like drinking consequences, things like that. And somebody his uncle cares about is in a car accident and dies because of this. And he goes to the bar that is owned by the firefighters and shoots Tommy. And it's just one of the most nerve-wracking 10 minutes on TV when this happens. And just his nature about this, when after he shoots Tommy, he's just sitting at the bar. Well, let's have a drink. Come on. I'm really going to have to watch Rescue Me again because it is such a fantastic series. And if you haven't seen it, you really should. If you're in Canada, it is on the CTV app. All 7 seasons are on the CTV app for free. No sign up. You can watch it just straight off the app. And I highly recommend you do. It is great. Great series, great writing, great acting. Just everything about it is so phenomenal. And again, like I said before, it is by far one of my favorite shows that ever was, and one of my favorite FX series as well. So you can't go wrong with Rescue Me. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. What's your opinion of Rescue Me? Or what's your favorite season, favorite character, so forth and so on? Leave a comment down below letting me know what you think. Don't forget to share this video anywhere you can. In the description below, you're going to see a link to last week's episode because I'm going to level with you guys. I forgot my Google password, so I can't go in and do all the stuff, putting the links there and everything. So until I figure out my password, and I don't want to put a new one in, yeah, you're not going to see the link over my shoulder here. So, but the link to last week's episode is going to be in the description. It's going to be the Lord of the Rings retrospective. Also in the description, you're going to see a link to my Redbubble store where you can pick up all your Irish Bandit merchandise. We have t-shirts, stickers, coffee mugs, travel mugs, cases for iPhone, cases for Samsung, cases for iPad. Anything your heart desires, it is there in the Irish Bandit shop. Don't forget to share this video anywhere you can. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, tap that bell and you'll be notified whenever I go live or whenever a new video is posted. Next week, My 5 returns, and I'm counting down my 5 all-time favorite series finales. And I assure you that Rescue Me will pop up on there somewhere. But what is number 1? Find that out next week. So until next week, I'm the Bandit. I'm out of here. Take care, guys.